Good morning. It's Tuesday. No, it's not. It's Thursday. That's a good start, isn't it? It's Thursday, the 27th of July. No, it's not. It's Thursday, the 27th of June. I'm pulling a Domanio this morning. Concentrate, Keith. Concentrate. The fact is that June seems to have gone by very slowly, as opposed to the first 5 months of the year, which simply zipped by. But we are now facing July. We've had a little taste of summer. Hopefully, we're going to get a bit more of it. But why don't we just check, as a matter of urgency, as a complete matter of urgency, the weather? Today is going to be 21, as opposed to the 26, which it reached yesterday. But it is going to be sunny, a moderate breeze. They say sunny, no mention of cloud, but we do have a start of a cloud layer. Whether that's going to burn off or not, I have no idea. It's supposed to. It's supposed to be sunny right up until 1 o'clock. Then we're supposed to have a scattering of cloud. And another bout of really good sunshine all the way up until 7 o'clock tonight, with a moderate breeze. So a very, very nice day. Have the forecasters got it wrong? I don't know. I think what we have to do is to wait for a little while, because it is only just 8 o'clock. We are forecast 19 degrees. It's warm enough. Have no worries about that. The only thing is there is some cloud, which is mystifying. There you go. That's the score at the moment. Now, there's a big debate last night. As usual, what took center stage? A betting scandal. I'm all for morality and ethics in governance. But the country is facing all sorts of crises. And our potential leaders, in their public debates, could do well to remind themselves we are looking for their answers to these problems. That's why we put them there. And we're not getting it. The fact is, the leadership that we've got And before somebody says damn Tories, forget it. The leadership is the leadership. The opposition in the UK's democratic governance system is as important as the government. And that importance carries with it the responsibility to the voters, to the electorate, to the people. So it doesn't matter who they are, which party or whatever, they bear the responsibility for what's happening, what's going to happen. So there. We can expect from our leaders suggestions. Last night, all we got was betting scandal. And you said, no, you said, you did, no, you did. Not good enough, chaps. Not good enough by far. We want to hear some positive things from you. And not fanciful things, like we're going to rub out immigration within 6 months. We're going to alter this within 9 months. We're going to make sure that we change that in a year. You know very well that's impossible. And if I hear one more time, we're going to throw more money at the NHS, I'll scream. That is most certainly not the answer to the problems of the NHS. But you know, once you've got people in governance, once you've got people in authority and positions, trying to shake them loose is very, very difficult. And look at the post office. That was a scandal. But it was also indicative how senior management cloak themselves in a layer of defense that keeps them in situ, keeps them in position, while all the time wrong, which they know about, is going on around them. And the post office isn't the only one. It reeks with corruption. And when you've got corruption at the top, you've got corruption at the bottom. I was responsible for training some journalists in Romania when they first came into the EU. The basic theme was how to spot corruption and how to tackle it. And the trouble is that their journalists were part of the mold. Just about everybody was corrupt in Romania. I don't know whether it's any better today. But back then, and we're talking about 2006, it was pretty dicey. Pretty dicey indeed. And it was not healthy. Not healthy. But the point about Romania was everybody was at it. And while the man on the street would say, oh, we got a terribly corrupt government, you'd say, do you have a driving license? Yes. How did you get it? Oh, my uncle knew so-and-so and paid him a few euros. Oh, you've got a corrupt government. How strange. They are guardians of a corrupt society, and that's how it's going to stay for a while, because any good guys whatsoever are going to be mugged. They're going to be kept out of sight. Right. we better take a look at some of the headlines this morning, since we mentioned the debate. But of course, later on at 10 o'clock, we have the vivacious Mr. John Henty to bring us up to date with Music Hall, to Raymond Briggs. He's the man who did the snowman. Mabel Lucy Atwell, the lady artist. They didn't find out as a lady for God knows how long. A whole host of characters, most of whom John has met, some fleetingly, some at length. But he's a character. He bubbles with energy and is very knowledgeable in the subject of entertainment, generally speaking, but also in a very specific area of East Sussex. Right. Why did I start to tell you that? I don't know. Let's have a look at the front pages of the newspapers. The Guardian. The Prime Minister and Starmer clash over the betting scandal in a tetchy final TV debate. The final TV showdown between Rishi Sunak and Sir Keir Starmer before their ultimate battle at the ballot box dominates Thursday's front pages. The Guardian's headline describes the BBC debates between the pair as tetchy, but says Sir Keir took aim at the Conservatives and at their culture at the top, following news of the election betting scandal. So it's you keeping that alive, Sir Keir. Whoop-de-doo. You've got my great attention, as you can hear the attention of those people who are in charge or charged with giving accurate and full and open news items via the media. Incidentally, on Friday, which is tomorrow, we will have the second of our candidates, Mr. Macaulay of the Lib Dems, and a very nice young man, has the tiger by the tail. But with the boundary changes, the local governance changes, and with the likely change of government in Westminster, where does he stand? What is his role? Well, we welcome James tomorrow. Do tune in. He's articulate. He's pleasant. Should he be tougher? Join us. The Times. Labour Party member arrested over a honey trap scandal. Oh, I haven't had a good old honey trap in a long time. A Labour Party member has been identified as the man arrested over the Westminster honey trap scandal. The man, who is in his mid-20s, was detained by police yesterday and is in hiding in Isleworth in North London. Oh, that's going to be another interesting one. We should find out more about that. Sunak rams home tax message in final debate. This is the Times we're talking about now. Sunak rams home tax message is the Times headline. As it says, the Prime Minister hammered home his tax warnings about Labour's leader, while Keir accused the Tory leader of being out of touch with the UK. From both sides. Oh, incidentally, it won't be long before Malcolm Trump and Joe Biden go head-to-head on the hustings. Because the Americas, or North America, is expecting an election in November. I say expecting, because to be quite honest with you, with the funny state of the world, I wouldn't count any election as being taken place until somebody opens up and brings in the debaters, because it's all pretty hopeless stuff. It really is. Sunak rams home tax message is the Times headline. As it says, the Prime Minister hammered home his tax warnings about Labour's leader, while Keir accused the Tories of being out of touch with the UK. That didn't give us much more, really. Let's go to the Telegraph. The Daily Telegraph. Ooh. Sunak's plea to voters: don't surrender Britain. Don't surrender Britain to Labour surrender. I'm sure Philip has made sure that he's going to talk to Maria Caulfield and any other politician that could lay their hands on, so that he's done it, because he is the favoured son. And I think that organisations, people, anybody for that matter, should get food ready for breakfast, and in a very articulate way. And generally speaking, the only people who have the sort of baton that is being approved is what we're just talking about. The British Navy. Oh, we do get some unenviable tasks. The Telegraph headline focuses on the Tory leader's warning to voters not to surrender Britain to Labour. It points out that Mr. Sunak used the weather. In the picture. Oh, we clicked a little too fiercely there. There we go. The Telegraph focuses on the Tory leader and is warning to voters not to surrender Britain to Labour. It points out that Mr. Sunak used the word surrender time and time again during the debate as he criticised Labour's policies. Daily Mess. Daily Mess. Daily Express. In a fiery face-off, the Prime Minister urged voters not to surrender. UK's borders. No idea 9 times. Starmer fails to give an answer on boats crisis. No idea, exclaims the Daily Express, as it points out that Sir Keir Starmer failed miserably during the debate to give an answer on how his party would tackle both the small Daily Mail. Rishi's furious blast at Starmer. You're taking people for fools. Sunak slams the Labour leader's nonsensical plans to tackle illegal migration. He tells voters not to surrender our borders to Keir's party. He warns families that their taxes will be whacked up. The Mail also delves into the reaction following the debate. You are taking people for fools, is its headline, as it says the Prime Minister took alarm at Labour's nonsensical plans to tackle illegal migration. The paper says he then opened a second front by accusing the Labour leader of not being straight with people. Elsewhere, I think it was a bit of an argy-bargy as a drunken party by the look of things. More hangovers on the campaign trail. Holly's kidnap kit. The England Star is also pictured at the top of the 12. Pictured at the top of the Daily Mirror, which traditionally backs Labour at general elections, but is one of the few papers not to cover the TV debate on its front page. Instead, it splashes with the headline, Holly Kidnap. Well, now, the Mirror. The subheadlines don't make much sense. Star murder plot trial. Holly kidnap kit. The England Star is also pictured at the top of the Daily Mirror, which traditionally backs Labour at general elections. Holly kidnap kit, it says. Jurors at Chelmsford Crown Court were shown footage of ankle shackles as a ball gag rope. Oh, right. Metal cable ties and handcuffs that were pretty going. Well, there we are. The Metro. Aristocrat guilty over secret birth, but she and the partner facing a new trial over the baby's death. A different court story features on the front page of the Metropolitan as Constant Martin is pictured following the convictions of her and her boyfriend and her party partner, Richard Gordon. The pair were found not guilty A different court story features on the front of the Metro as Constance Martin is pictured following the conviction of her and her partner, Mark Gordon. The pair were found guilty of hiding the birth of their baby, who was found dead last year after a 7-week search. The paper mentioned the couple will face a retrial next year, year on year, but that Derek Spencer, who is a pal in Northern Ireland, sent me some material on Alice in Wonderland. He popped into my mind when I was reading this about the a new show, Land of Women. There you are, Derek. A new show, new television show, Land of Women. Derek taps in from time to time, I'm reliably informed. So if he's watching, I didn't mean to link you with this secret birth and the couple who are going for trial again. I just have to pause because there's a lady going by, and she pushed by in her wheelchair by her long-time carer, and I think it's probably her son. And I've been saying hello to her for yonks, and she has the most beatific smile. It is beautiful. It just lights up the world. She lives just down the road from the Black Horse. I pass there frequently, and often she's either coming in or going out, aided. She's in her 80s, possibly even a little older than that. But she has a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful smile. And it just thrills me every time I see her to see that smile. And she just went by, pushed gently by the caring male. And it is terrific. It is terrific. Anyway, Derek, if you are watching today, hello. We're delighted to have you as a even occasional viewer. He's keeps what I modestly would call a ranch in Northern Ireland. He's heavily into the horsey world. He does judging, and I don't know that he actually rides himself, but his daughter and son and wife, they all ride. He is the backbone to the family's interest in horses. They are just shows where we can go, we can zip off in any direction that we like on Mirador. Well, fancy that. Financial Times. The French far-right leader vows to fight a cultural battle against Islamism. Now, it is Marine Le Pen. I am reliably informed by our man Harry, has moved very much to the center. But our media cannot stop calling her extreme right. Now, if it is extreme right or far right, start to justify the words that you use. If she is, Harry and I will totally accept that. But start to tell us why she is the far right when on home turf she's beginning to be seen as centre right, a moderate conservative. Is it that you just can't keep up to date with what's going on? Or is it that you are so judgmental you can't get your mind around anything other than extreme? I have no idea. None whatsoever. Catching the eye at the top of the Financial Times is a graphic of a $100 bill, which teases an investigation by the paper that says a new global money laundering network has emerged between so-called Chinese underground banks and Mexican drug cartels. The lead story focuses on another election in France, where it says Rassemblement National Party, its chief is convinced it will secure an outright parliamentary majority in the snap election later this month. The Eye revealed Russian hackers are behind NHS attacks and are part of a cyber army protected by the Kremlin. International intrigue. Let's have a look at this one. Russian hackers are responsible for an NHS cyber attack, according to the front of the newspaper. Separately, according to the latest election polling in the paper, it says support for Nigel Farage's Reform Party is dipping, offering a glimmer of hope for the Tories. Notably, above the main headline is a message for readers as to why the Eye will not be backing any particular political party in the election, or ever in the future, it says. Oh, until the 12th of never, and that's a long, long time. Be careful what you promise. Editorial people at the Eye, be careful what you promise. What has our favourite Daily Star got to offer? A snoozing fan. I had a lovely dream England were winning, and then I woke up. It said, there's a picture of a fan on the front page. Finally, the Star follows up on the photo which made a few front pages on Wednesday, showing an England fan dozing off during the Three Lions 0-0 draw with Slovenia in Cologne. The tabloid interviews him for Thursday's edition, as he tells the paper he had a dream England were winning, he said, and then I woke up. Oh, dear. The Daily Telegraph leads with the BBC's election debate. The paper says the two main party leaders clashed over immigration, welfare and taxes in the final television debate before the country heads to the polls next month. Sticking with the fiery TV debate from Nottingham, the Daily Mail examines Rishi Sunak's attack on Labour's immigration and tax plans. You're taking people for fools, is its headline, quoting Mr. Sunak's accusation about the way Sir Keir Starmer would deal with illegal migration. The issue is key for the Daily Express, which argues the Labour leader failed 9 times to say what he would do with migrants arriving on British shores. For the Times, Mr. Sunak was in barnstorming mood as he tried to ram home his claim Labour would raise taxes. It says the Prime Minister and the Labour leader launched a highly negative attack on each other in a bad-tempered debate. So the Times, which is the paper that comes into the pub, it takes more or less the same line as me. Everything is negative. Let's get positive. Let's hear what you're going to do to make life better for us. Not aiming mud at one another. The Guardian calls the debate tetchy and says the two leaders clashed bitterly, in particular over their response to the political betting scandal. The paper says the Labour leader launched a fierce attack on the culture at the top of the Conservative Party. And in Sakir's words, it's wrong instinct to place bets on the future of the country. Away from the debate, the Daily Star interviews an England fan who is pictured in Cologne fast asleep while watching the Three Lions being held to a 0-0 draw with Slovenia. That was on Tuesday night. According to the Financial Times, Rassemblement National Party, its chief, Jordan Bardella, has pledged to fight a cultural battle against Islamism and secure an EU budget rebate, even as he promised a lot of preamble, pragmatism on the economy if his party wins a snap election. And finally, the I newspaper says hackers working under the Kremlin's protection were behind a major cyber attack on the NHS this month. Well, they have all the information on me that they want. Anyway, I've got a criminal record in Russia. I've got a file in the Kremlin which says I was a naughty boy. I went and stayed with friends in Dasha one weekend instead of checking into my hotel. And if you do that, you've broken the law. And they really mean it too. I don't know how much the fine cost because my employers paid it, but I was a naughty boy. I was a naughty boy. Hey, okay. Wide-ranging stuff. Yes, the election has come back into the front pages and the headlines, but a bit scattered. Other things for consideration there. How are we doing? We're coming up to 20 to 9, and I'm disposed. Now, I am heavily into medieval stuff. Lewes is a medieval town. Lewes has its roots in medieval times. It was given its charter in 800. A couple of hundred years ahead of the invasion by the Normans. There is a lot of medieval Lewes left here, and some of it in very good nick. The castle is remarkable, and the church that I go to is also in very good shape. St. Michael's in Lewes, which was built sometime in 1100, could be even earlier, because it is thought to have been the church of the castle, where the Varens lived. But anyway, medieval we are. Medieval we probably will stay, but I personally push very hard the medieval aspects of this town, because even though the Normans are ruthless and avaricious, they also introduced some interesting features in their reign. The jury system, for one, 12 good men and true. It's Norman and introduced by them to punish criminals. The number of other items that were exceptional features. And one of them was the cataloguing of everything in Britain. In one great big volume, it listed every farmhouse, every cow, every person. Everything that was here. And I'm not quite sure how long after the invasion. But there it is, all laid out. The Britain of, let's say, 1100, for the sake of argument. What it was, what was here, how it worked, the system, the assets, and everything that we needed to know. And it's lasted through to this day. Oh, it changes. I think probably in the Black Horse, we're sitting on a green field if we go back 1,000 years. But it was a remarkable effort. Remarkable effort. And there were many other remarkable things that they did. And when they had to do that with one hand tied behind their back, because there are people like Hereward the Wake, English lords lurking in the fens, who would come out and stick a knife into them. In fact, William de Varenne was paranoid about Hereward the Wake because he actually killed one of his siblings, I think. I think it was a brother. Hereward the Wake. To some a hero, to others a curse. It's so often the case, isn't it? Anyway, one of the things that I was able to do in the past when I could walk and when I went to London regularly I was privileged to be taken to a medieval banquet. And it just so happens that I've got a little video clip here about one of these medieval banquets. And I thought we might like to enjoy it together. So let's have an early morning snack, shall we?
Welcome to the medieval banquet. We are the wenches at the banquet, and we serve and we have a bit of fun with you all. You can hire costumes if you wish to.
food. Did you like it?
We liked the food, it was very nice.
Apart from the potatoes and the vegetables.
Great. And what about the show?
Brilliant.
Very good.
You came with your daughter, right?
Yes, we did. She's still dancing away there, yeah.
And how old is she?
13.
Did she really enjoy the
She did.
show and everything?
She's had a great time.
Okay.
She has, yeah.
So the spirit, the vibe was really good. I really liked the vibe about the place. I liked how enthusiastic people were about the whole, about the performers were really enthusiastic. That's what I liked. They always had a smile on their faces.
It was excellent. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more entertaining than what we had tonight. It was fun, participatory, lots of free beer. It was just an excellent evening. I'd love to do it again.
Oh, there you are. A little bit of a scrap, a medieval banquet, plenty of mead to go around. And that's in London, but it could easily be a touch of Lewis. There's no question. No, it's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. I sort of approach the owners of the new White Hart and say, how about doing one of these banquets? Yeah, why not? Why not? Although probably it would be better to have a banquet featuring Tom Paine. Not medieval, but certainly with that rebellious spirit which came out of medieval times. All right, it's only 10 to the hour. I don't want to leave you too soon. Do we have anything else that is worthwhile having a little look at? Hey. I don't know. I can't. Let's see. Yes. I had put this aside. A few years ago, Rupert Lloyd Thomas, who has returned to us as a viewer, drove in his smart car from Ontario to British Columbia, and he documented it and did a program. And I'll dig that program out because it's an interesting one. He went to a place called Sydney on the far west coast of Canada. He's back now in the UK, but he drove right across, and it was very interesting. And one of the features is that a lot of people drive across the Canadian prairies, and people can't believe how flat and actually dull and boring. I had a colleague many years ago in Canada who said he was driving back and he nodded off at the wheel. It was so dull. And he said he woke up and the car was still going. He was still behind the wheel, but he was about 50 yards off to the left of the highway and luckily had not hit an obstacle. Anyway, let's just take a little drive through the Canadian prairies. Make sure you understand where it is, the Canadian prairies, before we actually retire for 10 minutes or so. Here we go.
everybody. We are today in Winnipeg. It's just a basic parking ground in front of the Osborne Library. Thanks for that. And on the other side is like a there you go. It's like a Safeway. We stocked up a little. Winnipeg. Now will come the prairies, which is basically, for people who don't know, it's supposedly just fields. And fields with nothing else, just 12 hours drive, just one road straight. Supposedly, and fields around. So everyone in Canada said, well, you have to speed through. So yeah, we are prepared for that. We're gonna leave Winnipeg, and the next city hopefully is Calgary. Should be like 1,300 kilometers. And from there on, British Columbia, with all the nice national parks, and you know, so then we really are in Canada, I guess. All right, talk to you later. Hello again, right now from the so-called prairies on the way to Calgary. Yeah, basically today's driving log is here. You can see, I hope. Basically about 300 kilometers today. That's what we have until Calgary. Basco is having one stuffing. And yeah, kind of this. Even though it's prairies and everyone says it's boring, it's kind of cool because the roads look like this, and every once in a while there comes a truck, and that's it. Alright, say hello, Basco. Hello. Alright, stay tuned.
Cleaning the bed.
Fresh and clean.
Interesting, Pasco? Everything is so interesting. The trend is unbelievable, the size.
Hello again. Now we are in Regina. I hope that's how you say Regina. We didn't know that this is such a big city, so you just drive in the plains and all of a sudden, kaboom, it shows up. So, well, where is Isabella? Isabella is right here. We're doing lunch, a lunch break. We have like people playing music out there, which is pretty cool. So this is our lunch break in Regina today.
Hospital.
We gotta go to the hospital. No. prairies are not so boring than people say. Lovely lake. I don't know if you see Bosco, he's right there, cleaning himself after a long ride. There is Uni. Hey Uni. Uni. Hey. And there's Isabella. And here's proof that we are here. And we put on the oven and Isabella is doing her lasagna.
Lasagna. Cool.
Made in our oven.
Yeah.
Really good. In the middle of nowhere.
Yum.
So, cheers, people.
Well, that road is part of the Trans-Canada Highway. And from Winnipeg, you would go across Alberta to Calgary. And then from Calgary, you go into British Columbia, where the Rocky Mountains reside. And you go through the mountains and down to the sea and to the west coast, Jewel, Vancouver, where I lived for some 15 years. One of the things about the road, about the Trans-Canada Highway, is that when I was first there, and I was there in 1958, it was my first year. I was at university, and in the summer of 1959, I got a job building the Trans-Canada Highway, which through the Rocky Mountains, for much of it, did not exist. And I spent a whole summer tucked away in the mountains, shovel in hand, helping to build that road. And many, many people that I've now bumped into who've crossed Canada or driven on the roads have said, yes, they've gone along that stretch. And I very proudly have said, well, I built that. It's where I had a lot of adventures. I was chased by a grizzly bear. I was frightened by another bear to the point where I lifted a 90-pound pump with one hand and raced a couple of 100 yards before I realized that I was carrying it. That 15 years in Vancouver was absolutely incredible. An adventure a young man should always have as the bedrock of his life. And in fact, while I was there, I formed, along with a couple of other guys, a rugby club called the Scribes, because we were all journalists, and we decided that we needed to get fit. So we formed the Scribes on the basis that it would go for perhaps a couple of seasons and help take a bit of the fat off. That club, the Scribes, is now enjoying its 50th year, is a very, very solid club, has several teams, has a ladies' team, has a child's team, it has its own clubhouse. It is a wonderful, wonderful organization. And it all came from me having built the Trans-Canada Highway so I could get into Vancouver and form the damn thing. Such is life, and such is the fun that you can have in it if you just dangle your toe. Just dangle your toe a little bit in the water. Okay, now let me just remind you that here at the Black Heart, the meal deal, which is on for the Euros, an hour before a match and an hour afterwards, is for £15. You can get a hamburger, a drink, a beer or a glass of wine or a soft drink, and chips. Burger, chips, and drink for £15, a meal deal, and it's good value, and the food is excellent here. And don't forget that you can get a very decent Sunday lunch. It is plentiful, it's well cooked, it's well thought out. There's a good range of food. That's the Black Horse. It's not bang in the centre of Lewis. It's a little way out on the road to Brighton, but it's a lovely established old-fashioned pub. And Declan, the host, is also the chief of staff, honorary, I must say, of Mirador Television. But when anything goes wrong, they say, Dick! And along he comes, and he normally is able to fix it. He's one of those people that you rely upon. Dick! I can't even work the coffee machine. If he's not here, I don't get a cup of coffee. Oh dear. There we go. It's 9:03. The weather is not as forecast at the moment. It is overcast. It is warm. It's overcast. It's not going to rain today. The temperature is probably going to reach about 21. So all in all, you can relax and know that you're not going to be flooded or blasted out, and today you will not be roasted out. We'll be back shortly with John Henty will be along at 10 o'clock, but I'll have one or two other little bits and pieces between then and when John arrives on the scene. Toodle pip.